welcome back to The Past is Alive. Thanks as always for tuning in. Today's episode is going to be regarding my childhood comic collection. I recently was at my parents' house and dug these out of a tote, and most of them are from the 1990s. I used to be a comic collector whenever I was younger, more so than I am now. I mean, I'll still pick them up here and there if I see them, but not so much as I used to when I was a kid. I don't have a whole lot, but there's a decent amount here, so I want to go ahead and share these with you. I know there's a lot of comic collectors out there and ones that watch these videos, so let's go ahead and take a look back at my comic collection from the 90s. So the very first one right off the bat is one of my personal favorites from when I was younger. I always loved the artwork on here, the ninja and the high kick and whatnot. And this is Batman comic part 3 of 3. This is from July 1994. Some of you guys may remember this or may even have this today. But I always liked this one. And also about comics, I always like the ads in them. And I especially like going back now and looking at those ads. Usually on the backs always had some sort of advertisement, video game, mostly video games for the most part. This one has an old Acclaim ad on there for SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, Game Gear, September 94. So that's pretty awesome. Usually inside covers have advertisements. Like this one, for instance, you have The Shadow from 1994. If you guys remember that movie with Alec Baldwin. Have not seen that one in a long time. Sometimes they have them in between, but that's the very first one, top of the stack. Always liked that one. Next one, this was given to me by a friend many years ago, and I always liked X-Men, but it was never my favorite, never a priority. I'd watch it if it was on, but never went out of my way to collect the toys or anything else like that. I always liked Wolverine, of course. He's my favorite. He's probably, most people's favorites. But what I like most about this one now is the awesome Toys R Us limited edition on top of there. Now Toys R Us is gone, at least gone in the U.S., on the back here, we have Mortal Kombat advertisements for SNES and a few other different platforms there. Pretty cool. $75 for quarterback club, NFL quarterback club for SNES. It's crazy. And this is from, I don't even know what year this is from. It says number 1. I'm guessing 94 maybe? Somewhere around there. And then inside, this is just awesome. This vintage Toys R Us ad. It sucks that this page is ripping out of here. This is 93, I guess. But the old Jeffrey artwork there, pretty cool. A lot of X-Men fans out there. This next one is later 90s. I believe I got this from Blockbuster Video right around the time that the first movie came out, Beavis and Butthead Do America. This is like a free mini book that they gave out. Used to always like this one, how to fake a Bigfoot sighting. Somebody actually just sent me, Charles Penley, aka Tone Penley, just sent me, I think it's the entire collection of Beavis and Butthead comic books. There's 20 of them in there, which is pretty awesome. So when I saw this, I instantly thought of that collection. Started going through those too, they're really cool. This is actually from 97, so here we have another Batman one, the Joker on the front there, and this is pretty old. This is from July 1990. And we got some NES games on the back. We have Contra, and Super Contra, I mean, back when that came out in 1990. And a Quirk Game Boy ad. I don't even really remember that game. Pretty cool. Sometimes they'll have them in the middle here. I always like looking at these now. Nintendo Club. They have some advertisements in there, almost like classifieds. Here's one of my personal favorites, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This is like the graphic novel for the movie. Love this movie. I saw it in the theaters whenever it came out in 94. And then they released it and did a one-day only thing for the 25th anniversary last year. I went and caught that again. It was in a theater about a half hour away. My buddy and I went and saw it. And pretty awesome to see it again on the big screen. I always thought it was an awesome movie. Always a huge Batman the Animated Series fan. So, naturally, I love this movie. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, check it out, especially if you're a Batman fan. The next up, Batman Legend of the Dark Knight. This is also from 1990. It's a pretty cool shot there. Batman gliding down from the top of a cathedral. And no advertisements on the inside of there. And on the back, we have The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which never saw the movie, but it sounds familiar to me. Andrew Dice Clay. So pretty cool. 1990. And another random, I'm not sure where this came from, insert. Toys R Us insert. So love the older Toys R Us stuff now that it's gone, but still open in Canada. Some people don't realize that or are aware of that. They're actually doing really well in Canada. Here's another Batman comic. I was a huge Batman fan, as you can see. This is from July 95. And there's Batman tied to a buoy there. And then we have an advertisement for Batman Forever, which I was a huge fan of when it came out. I still don't mind it. I'm a huge Tommy Lee Jones fan, so I liked him as Two-Face, and also Jim Carrey's a Riddler. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people don't like it, but when I was a little kid, I thought it was awesome. We have an advertisement for Judge Dredd here, for Game Gear, I guess. You guys remember Judge Dredd from the mid-90s? And it looks like Batman Forever trading cards. I definitely had a few of these too. Advertised late May 95. Another Batman here, Legend of the Dark Knight, and this is from October 94. It's a pretty cool cover there. And look what we have here, Extra Bases. You guys remember these? These are from 1994, and definitely had a bunch of these cards. Our local card shop seemed to always have them in stock. And I liked them at the time, but at the same time I didn't like them because you put them in a top loader and you still have like that much space sticking out. Like only, I don't know, maybe like 60% of the card was actually protected in the top loader and the rest was sticking out. So I feel like a lot of mine got bent, or if you put them in like boxes, they get bent out. The tops would get bent out if you put the lids on them. But those are made by Fleer. Extra Bases. Pretty cool stuff. And there's a DC advertisement in there. There's Batman looking like Venom. Some more comic advertisements there. I always liked this cover too. I always thought it was super spooky and dark back then. This is from March of 95. Really cool artwork on that one. Batman just looks awesome. And then we have NBA Jam. I'm sure you guys remember that game. They re-released it a few years ago. Jam Day, February 23rd, 1995. Used to love that game. Eric and I used to play it all the time. Really cool. I thought about getting the remake for it. I want to say it was on PS3 they came out with that and re-released it. And then on the back here we have a Nerf ad. That's pretty awesome. Welcome to Max Force. Nerf. 1994. Pretty cool. I haven't looked through really any of these yet since I decided this video. And here's a little change up here. We have a TMNT 3 comic book. Number 1. Not sure how many of these he made. This is almost like a graphic novel for the movie. And there's a cool advertisement in there advertising the Turtles games. Turtles in Time was an awesome game. I remember playing that all the time. Pretty awesome. And then Mega Man 5. And an old Kid Dracula Game Boy ad there. Pretty awesome. I don't really remember too much about TMNT 3. I was more of a fan of the second one than the third. Another Turtles one here. Not sure what year that's from either. I think it's October 91, I want to say. Somewhere around there. Laser Invasion advertisement for the Nintendo. Can't say I remember that game either. Kind of looks exactly like Contra on the inside of it. Don't remember that one. Looks pretty cool though. And in the back, WCW World Championship Wrestling. Definitely remember that game. Be a Video Warrior. Pretty cool. Old Archie ad and some Archie comics there. Always like this cover too. Another Batman one. This is from October 96. I always thought that the artwork was really cool. Teen Titans ad. And a Polo Sport ad. Who wants to see that on a comic as a kid? And a Superman ad on the inside. A Pinocchio movie ad. Yeah, so sometimes they have them in the middle here. Cool, cool artwork in there. And then another Batman here. This is August of 95. And another advertisement for Batman Forever trading cards. One hologram every pack. I don't remember ever having a hologram. I definitely had a few packs of those. And then we have some Sega and SNES advertisements on the back for different games. I remember seeing this all the time. That Clearasil ad was like everywhere when we were a kid. Here's one that I still in the plastic. This is from November 94. Another Batman. Looks like it was part of a series, Prodigal 3. I have another one of these in here too. I think I was selling that one. I used to have a card shop in my house for like 10 years called Johnny's Card Shop. I think I got that as an extra somewhere at a flea market or something like that and decided to sell it. And another Batman one. This is Shadow the Bat. This is from September 94. Never really cared for that cover. It looks pretty old school. Looks more like Adam West there at Batman. A Zero Youth ad there. And Natural Born Killers, the movie. You guys remember that? Woody Harrelson. I remember reading this one all the time. There's something about this one I liked a lot. Probably think it was like loosely based off the animated series. This is from May 93. The Batman Adventures. And Double Dragon 3, if you guys remember that game. Pretty funny if you guys ever watch Angry Video Game Nerd. The one video he does on Double Dragon is hilarious. I'll show you a clip of that now.
Just like the one-player game, it starts off with the story sequence, but this time it shows both the Double Dragons, Billy and Jimmy Lee. Or wait, Bimmy and Jimmy? How'd they make a mistake like this? Bimmy isn't even a real name. How did this happen? They didn't even proofread this shitty game before they released it? Bimmy and Jimmy? I'm sorry, I just can't get over that. Bimmy and Jimmy. There's a typo in a Nintendo.
Love that clip. It's hilarious. The Double Dragon 3 ad, and then Brock's Rocks. You guys remember those? Pretty cool. It's a blast from the past. I haven't even heard about those or thought about those in a long time. Another Batman here. This is from May 93. This is pretty old. I think this might have actually been Eric's at one point. Another Double Dragon 3 ad. Bimmy and Jimmy. And there's an ad for Coneheads. And another Batman here. January 94. I think I was kind of freaked out by that artwork on the front when I was younger. I was 10 years old when that came out. Batman burning that dude's brains right there. Who wouldn't be freaked out by that when you're 10? RoboCop 3 ad for the Genesis and Game Gear. It's pretty awesome. And then we have a Mask of the Phantasm ad there. That's pretty sick. Always love that. You need to get a poster of that. I think I saw one recently online. The Return of Scarface Batman. I guess I was selling this at one point too. The $1 price tag on it. This is March of '92. Never really cared for Scarface as a villain. They had a couple episodes about him in Batman the Animated Series. I don't know. I thought it was kind of stupid when I was a kid. There's much better villains than him. Another Acclaim ad here for a Ferrari game. And another racing game, Top Gear for SNES. And Smart Ball. I don't remember that game at all. Looks pretty dull though. Nothing too great in that one. Batman Adventures of Killer Croc on the front. Batman in a Headlock. And this is from April 93. It's a pretty cool one. I remember reading this one all the time too. There's a pretty cool advertisement. Roger Clemens on the back of it here. And what game is advertising? I guess this is Roger Clemens MVP Baseball, which I don't really remember that game. I don't know if I ever even played that one. And George Foreman's KO and some other games there. Sega, I don't know what this is. It's an ad for Sega CD or something maybe? I'm not even sure. It's Criss Cross though, if you guys remember Criss Cross. Fire in the Sky. I remember that movie, but I never saw it. I always wanted to. It was pretty intriguing, and it's about an alien abduction. I always used to see that advertisement or poster hanging in video stores and whatnot. I was always intrigued by it. Another Batman, Electric City Part 1. This is from May 92. I used to like that cover too. I like the vibrant colors of it. Old Three Musketeers ad in the back of there. And some NFL trading card advertisements. And then we have Super Smash TV. I vaguely remember that. The arcade game. This is a pretty random one. 101 Dalmatians. I had to be pretty young whenever I got this one. Really no ads in there. That must have been 1990 or so. And here's a Batman July 92 of Batman. I don't know if he's ripping out the Joker's heart, I guess. About to feed it to him, it looks like, or I don't know. Pretty interesting. And of course, the Incredible Crash Dummies. Used to love these guys. I used to have the figures and stuff. I still need to start collecting those now. This is actually for a video game, Game Gear, Game Boy, and also Sega, it looks like. And never played that game. Don't remember it. Probably pretty fun though. More game advertisements there, and then another Sega advertisement there. Pretty cool. To go back and check that one out later on. Another Batman, November '91. So that's like really all I bought was Batman comics when I was younger. So I guess baseball cards and comics. Some more of the same advertisements again. I had to go through all these with you, but I don't know, it would take forever. Here's that same one we saw earlier, the Prodigal Part 3. That was in plastic from November '94. NFL card advertisement there. Weird Science on USA. You guys remember that show? And an old Strides advertisement there. Tasmanian Devil game. Pretty cool. And then another Batman, August '94. And Nightfall. I always wanted that book when I was younger. Never had it though. Thought it was pretty sweet. I think it was like pretty expensive back then. That's why I didn't get it. Comics were so much cheaper. There's a really old Barks Root Beer ad. That's pretty cool. And then another Mortal Kombat ad. And but nothing in between there. And there's a November '93 Batman Night Quest, The Crusade. Always like that cover too. And Mortal Kombat was really popular back then. There's another advertisement. And Sequest DSV ad there. And there's also an ad of Bane breaking Batman's back. Nightfall Sky Caps. I'm guessing those are kind of like Pogs. They look like Pogs. I vaguely remember those. Pretty cool. And here's a Batman from July '93. Batman's taking on water and the rats are climbing all over his face. Another Crash Dummies advertisement there. Same one we saw this one already. And a repeat ad of some sports games. It's that Nightfall advertisement again. Pretty awesome stuff. And here's a Shadow of the Bat. This is from early October '93. The God of Fear. So this is pertaining to Scarecrow there. See, Batman's got him by the shirt collar. And Star Trek, The Next Generation advertisement here for the video games, which I never played those. Game Boy, Nintendo. Bloodlines Deathstorm advertisement. Metal Man advertisement in there. And here's another Turtles one. It's nice to see some variety here. I didn't like how they didn't have the dates on the front of these. I'm not sure what this is from. I'm guessing early '90s. Tiny Toon Adventures 2 advertisement there for the NES. And it's missing a back. That's probably where the Toys R Us one was from before. I always like this one too, the Batman Annual. And this one is from '94. I always thought that cover was pretty cool, the Mona Lisa on it. And there's an advertisement for Mask of the Phantasm. $20 on VHS back then in '94. Awesome movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And nothing else there. And the very last one we have, really cool cryptic cover here. This Batman, this is from August of 1990. And pretty crazy. Dark Knight, Dark City, part 2 of 3. Really cool one. Here's an advertisement for Viper for the NES, if you guys remember that game. I personally really don't remember that one. And Pick a Fight for School. Some Atari games there, the Atari 7800. I recognize Rampage and Double Dragon. I guess I recognize Commando 2. Never played Xenophobe. And another Quirk. So this one looks pretty cool. I'll have to go back and actually look through this one. Looks pretty awesome. That's it for my childhood collection of comics. Most of them are Batman, but hopefully you enjoyed those. I like looking through the old advertisements. I personally love them, so I'm going to continue to buy comics here and there as I see them. And let me know down below if you have any of these or if you remember any of them. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the '94 Flare Break. See you then.